Welcome to the Cross the Line podcast. My name is Carlos Smith, and today's episode is sponsored by KB's Car Care on 321 North Main Street in Jonesville, South Carolina. They have a hand car wash, vacuum, clean interior. Full detail is also available. While you wait on your vehicle, customer seating is available as well as a dining area. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., so make sure you stop by. Today's episode is also sponsored by Big Ben's Desserts. If you need to satisfy your sweet tooth, this is the place for you. They have a wide variety of desserts, including cakes, ice cream, banana pudding, and my personal favorite, the Oreo cheesecake. They're open Tuesday to Saturday from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. and closed on Mondays. So make sure you stop by and visit Big Ben's Desserts on 297 Spartanburg Highway in Lyman, South Carolina, where nothing could be sweeter. So thank you guys for sponsoring this episode of the Cross the Line podcast. Today we have another very special guest with us today. She's an entrepreneur. We have a big event coming up in our area next week, next Saturday, September the 25th. We have the entrepreneur, Miss Tanisha Smith. How are you?
I'm fine. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. Can't complain. Thank you for joining us. So we see you over there early when we got here. You on your phone working like the life of an entrepreneur. So how you feeling?
I'm a little overwhelmed, excited, nervous.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of emotions.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention when I was introducing you, she's the owner of Tipsy Running.
Yes.
And this is going to be something special because you're doing something that's out of the ordinary. We've never had anybody that's had like their own bartending business.
Right.
So you're the very first one that's on here.
Yes.
We were supposed to have somebody when we went to Jacksonville last year on our first tour, but she wasn't able to make it. But like I said, you're the very first guest. So this is going to be interesting. I love having guests on that are doing something that's out of the norm because, being an entrepreneur is kind of like out of the norm anyway. Because,
right.
We're kind of like so used to, doing the daily routine of just going to work, which is nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But Tipsy Running, I want to ask you, because I don't think it has been that long, but can you tell us how long have you actually been in the business?
I started in May. I had my very first event in May. But I actually came up with the idea about 2 years ago. I spoke with my cousin, Mike Land, and he was going to help me, like, invest in it. And then I kind of just was working for a company and just kind of put it to the back. And then after he passed, I thought about it some more. And then I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I left my job. And then just went straight to Tipsy Running. And it's actually been doing really good. When people start out with a new business, it kind of take time to start it out and get it going.
Mm-hmm.
But I've actually been booked since May up until now.
Man,
so
that's big.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm glad that everybody is supporting. And everybody is putting the name out there. After I do an event for them, they go and tell another person. So they call, and then that's how, I pretty much got booked. I think I'm booked up every Saturday up until February. Man,
that's huge.
Yes.
So that's a blessing right there already.
That's a blessing.
So I got to ask you, you said it already. You say you quit your job. What made you? Because I'm a firm believer, just my opinion. I think it's always something that'll come a point in your life where it's going to be something that makes you want to just jump or take that leap of faith. And it's up to you whether you do it or not. But what was it for you to say, I know you saying about Mike Land, rest in peace, but what was it for you to finally say, you know what, I'm ready to do this? And how were you, like, did you have anybody you needed to talk to when you did it?
I pretty much my household. And then the kids getting aggravated because I can't make this or I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And then I talked to family members and my mom, and she was like, Tanisha, just do it. Just do it. So I just did it. Mm-hmm. And then my significant other, he said, if it's gonna be some financial issues, then don't worry about it. Just get that started, and then we'll go from there. But luckily, I ain't had to use him too much for the finances because everybody been booking. So I'm pretty good and straight on that end. Were
you practicing like in the past, like doing kind of like some bartending in the past, or
yes.
were you?
So my friend Kashif, he booked me for a couple Thanksgiving parties that he have like every year. So it kind of went from there, and then other people want me to bartend, and then so it kind of just started from that area. And then I was like, if I'm gonna be doing this, I might as well go ahead and do it on my own. And I didn't want to just be like plain old, just regular bartending. So I was like, let me do like catering, just catering alcohol though. So what I do is I kind of just bring everything. So I set up full bar. You don't have to buy anything when you book. We come with the alcohol, the mixers, garnishes, cups, straws, whatever a bar got. We just come pull up. And you don't gotta worry about nothing.
To make it easier for everybody.
The hostess, for the host, they don't have to worry about anything.
Absolutely. So, how many people do you have on your staff right now, working for you?
Myself, and then I have 2 bartenders. I have Paige Jeter and Kennedy Wallace.
Okay.
Kennedy is new, but she did really, really good at the DJ event this past. It was two weekends ago.
That's good. What about I should have asked you this earlier, like the process of starting your business. Like, what kind of things did you have to go through to get like all the certifications? Like, was it tough? Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
Actually, it wasn't. I was gonna do the classes you take like on hands. Then again, you got kids, so it kept interfering because my son had basketball games every Saturday morning, and that's when the classes were. So I did it online, and I would take the online classes at night when they were asleep. And it's supposed to be like a 6-month course, but it only took like a month. So I kind of did it like that to get certified. And the license, as far as in getting insured for the company, was kind of hard because it's alcohol. But it wasn't like too much of a hassle.
Absolutely. So leading up to it, talk a little bit. Let's get into the Mimosa Festival. Like, how did you decide that you were ready to do this festival? Like, what was the idea behind it?
I seen my cousin Brittany Thomas. She shared a Mimosa Festival from Charlotte, and I think she quoted and said, "We don't never have anything like this in Union." So I was like, I'm gonna try it and see if I can do it. And she was like, "Well, they can only say yes or no." Luckily, it was no hassle. The chief of police and the city was all for it. The lady at the Chamber of Commerce, Miss Jamie, I went up
Jamie Trammell. Yep.
I went up there to get on the Chamber of Commerce, and then I told her the idea, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we need something like that around here." So it kind of was easy selling from there.
Well, that's good. So what can we expect from the Mimosa Festival? Like, this is the first annual. Like I was saying earlier, like we were planning on going down and shoot an interview down towards the beach, and I was like, man, this is the first time we had something like this in our area, man. Let me see if I can kind of push this back so I can be there as well. So what can we expect? Yeah.
So I'll have 6 different mimosa stations, 6 different flavors. It'll be food vendors. Everybody has different food on the menus. It'll be sweet vendors, it'll be retail vendors, and I also have a live band called the Enforcers. They're from out of Greer.
Okay.
So basically just downtown, open up to come out there and just have a good time and drink and eat and just enjoy yourself. And
I'll let you go ahead and let everybody know now the information. Then we'll go over it again at the end. So it's September the 25th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Like, how do you get the tickets for it?
So I have tickets on Eventbrite, but I will have ticket stations set up on Main Street. So it'll be closed from the point of Arthur State all the way to Kimbrell. So I'll have a ticket station near Arthur State and then one near Kimbrell, so they won't have to do too much walking.
So you can buy tickets the day of as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And the tickets are $25.
Okay. How was the process of, getting everybody like the different vendors? Was it something like when you made a post about it, people started reaching out to you? Like, how did all of that come about?
They did at first, but I don't think people kind of took it like, at first it was kind of slow, like, it's a Mimosa Festival. But then I don't think they knew too much about it.
Right.
But I think once they've been seeing, a lot of people sharing it, and then the billboard, and then a lot of people just talking about it in general, I had filled up all the spots, and then I have a lot of people still trying to reach out to do it, but I just can't. I wish I could. If I could have got like the entire from the the courthouse all the way down. I could do more vendors, but it kind of went slow at first, but then now people start booking their vendor spots, and it went good. It did what it's supposed to
And
do.
it probably might have seemed like it kind of started off slow because at first, like you said, people didn't know what it was at first. And then, you know, sometimes people may think, oh, somebody just posting this. It's just an idea at first.
Now, but I did have to actually, I started putting up screenshots of stuff like my license, my special event license that I got, and then the DOT approval. And I started putting up stuff like that so they can know, like, this is legit, like, this is real.
Right.
And then I noticed once I did that, then people really start reaching out, like, I'm interested, I like to be a vendor. So I think they just needed confirmation that it was actually happening. Right.
I think you might have said it already, but do you remember the first event that you actually, like, hosted?
It was, I can't even think of, what is it called when you had the big hats and stuff? I know it was a lady named Latron. Latron, her husband is a preacher in Spartanburg.
Okay.
They had oh God, what's it called?
Yeah, me thinking now.
Big hats in the. I can't think of it.
It was a big event.
Yes, it was a big event. She had a lot of people there. And it got me a lot of bookings there. I had I go to the beauty shop where she works at, me and my daughter, and I asked them about it. You know, I was like, what y'all think about if I started this? So she kind of kept that in mind and was like, have you started yet? And I was like, yeah. So she was like, well, I wouldn't be the first person to book you. So
it's huge.
We kind of went from there, and she didn't use me again for another event. So they just let you know I'm doing something right.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm telling you, it's like sometimes it's just like, I mean, God just put these people in your life for a reason. It's like, they always give you this push that you need. Like, even when you may be hesitant or something, it's just something like that always happens where, like, this lady, like, she just said, have you done it yet? And she was the very first one to book you, and now she's booking you again. And it's good. It's like it's just snowballing. Now you say you booked all the way to next year.
Yes.
Well, see, that's
February.
So how often? So you just do it strictly on weekends, or is it any?
I had a first event this past Thursday. It really just depends on what day of the event that they're having their event on. But I mean, it don't have to be specifically on the weekends. It's just really, I think that's when most people party up, like on the, or have like a gathering.
Yeah, something on the weekends.
Yeah, it's mostly like Fridays and Saturdays. I've had a few baby showers that I've done on Sundays, but not too much on Sundays.
You still have your I probably should have said serial entrepreneur, because you still have a cleaning business as well.
Do.
How is that going, and is it tough, managing both of them?
It's not, because I still have the same clients I've been having for years. It's not just up to this festival is making it a little hard for me to kind of juggle the Tipsy Running and my cleaning business. But other than that, no, it's just trying to get this festival going and trying to clean during the week, and then Tipsy Running on the weekend. So that's this week and last week and this week coming up. It's probably been a little hard with trying to stay on track with cleaning as well.
I just admire the fact you remember, because I remember it was earlier this year when I saw you. I thought we was at Marshall's or something, and you were telling about it then, about the Tipsy Running and the festival. And just to see how you just stuck with the plan and you got it going, man. I love to see stuff like that, because it means a lot, man. Just because I was telling you, we were getting ready to hit the road on a tour, and just.
I don't even think you had put it out yet.
No, not yet. I was like, and you know what was the craziest thing about it is actually even when I was telling you that stuff, like I write down everything, and I was like, I didn't even have everything mapped out. So by the time I put it out, like I was still working on it, and even right now I'm still working on some different things, but I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make it happen one way or the other. You just got to go out there and just stick to the plan.
I don't think you can ever write everything down, because when you dream big, it's just always going and going and going. So you gonna always have something that you gonna put on there, so you'll never get to check everything out. It's gonna be something added.
It's always it's always something else. Like even now, like I have my board at home, and I was just looking at it. I was looking at it earlier today, and I was like, man, like Ben would always tell me, man, just dream big. So I'm looking at some of the stuff that I had on my board. I'm like, man, I could do more than this. Like I don't went here, but I'm like, man, to me, it still don't feel like I'm doing enough. So I'm like, man, let me go back and rearrange my list and reassess and do some other things. But like you said, just the main thing is just getting started and just to see where you at already is like, man, I love what you're doing.
You the same way. You just got started and you traveling.
Yeah, it is crazy. I always say, man, like I started with a laptop. And that was it. So now I've just kept on going, and a laptop and a microphone took me all the way across the country.
Right.
Like, who would have thought something like that? You know, if you'd have talked to me maybe 5 or 10 years ago, I wouldn't even, my mindset wouldn't even been this way.
Same. But you're supposed to grow when you get older and grow. So your mind's supposed to think differently the older that you get. And
like I said, it was just, to me, I was just in that same mindset of just doing the daily routine, doing the same thing over and over. And like I said, for me, I always feel like it's going to be something that pushes you to just like, man, why am I doing this? I feel like I'm not being fulfilled. Like I need to do something else. I feel like, for me, I feel like everybody's going to have something like that. Whether you act on it is up to you.
Right.
But something just woke me up and I was like, man, I know I could do more. I want to do something else. And man, just traveling, interviewing everybody, doing what I'm doing now, it's like, man, it's one of the craziest things because it's going to be so many doors that just open up and these people are going to put you in position and do things for you that you never even thought you would even be doing.
Right. That's why the saying is, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who you know.
Yes.
And the thing I love, I really feel like this is going to happen at the festival is like, what you're already doing is a blessing because you're already giving other people opportunities.
Right.
And one of the things I already realized is everything you're doing is like, and all entrepreneurs tell me, anything that you do is bigger than you. Everything is bigger than you. So for you to be able to have an event where you're bringing all these entrepreneurs together, and they're going to bring people from all over, people you never even met before, it's going to create opportunities not just for you, but for them as well. So that's why it's
like a big network event.
It's a big network event. That's why I can't wait to get down there. I just because it's like something we never even had before in our area. But how do you feel about that? You know, being the first one to have an event, a Mimosa Festival in Union.
I'm nervous because I want to make sure everything is nice and I don't know. I think I'm so nervous that I'm trying to fulfill everybody. Like I hope everybody like it. I hope they enjoy it. But I got a big supportive team of close friends and family members that's gonna come out there, help and set up. Even the ones that can't come, they have tried to give in some type of way, or called and asked, do you need this or do you need me to, just any little thing. So I think it'll. Let me not say thank. I know it will. Yes, it's gonna be a success. I'm just a little nervous and anxious.
Yeah,
but.
and even if everything doesn't turn out great, I mean, it's always something you can learn from. It's always gonna be a learning curve with everything that you do.
Hoping that what I didn't do this year, I could do next year, and so on and so on.
And I like the fact that you said next year, so we know it's gonna be back.
Yes, I'm trying to make sure that this is an annual event.
Absolutely. I want to ask you, just going back a little bit, like from last year, when the pandemic first took place, like what was something that you learned during that whole entire process, and even up to now, it's still not over with. But what have you learned throughout the time of this pandemic?
So love on your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing with the business or anything. It was more so just making sure that you love your people.
Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing guaranteed at all.
Right.
Like it's crazy just how I can't really get on social media like that now unless I'm posting something, because it's just like every day it seems like it's a rest in peace of somebody. I'm like, even though I don't know the people.
Right, but it just start making you feel something
like, dang, man, it's getting kind of like depressing. Like,
yes, when we was young, I don't remember this many people passing away.
Me either. Cause especially when you're young, you feel like you're gonna live forever anyway.
I still feel like that, but
yeah. But it's just now, it's just like, man, it's like, man, you really. That's why now I have a point. I try, even though I can't make everything. Like when my friends, they have stuff going on, I try to go, man. It's tough.
That's what I'm trying to get to. So love on your people and try to attend stuff, because you just never know. Most of the times we say you never know the day, but people, you can see them that morning, they be gone later on that day. So it's just like, if somebody having something, attend it, or go visit or call, just any little thing. Just love on your people.
And it's still good to get out a little bit, you know, because you want to live. Like I try to tell myself that because like I don't really go to the clubs anyway. Like I don't have time for all that.
Nothing wrong with that. You ain't go to clubs.
Yeah, it's too much going on, man. It's just like it's always something go bad, like at the club. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like to have a good time, but like for me now, it's just like where I'm at. I'm just trying to like lock in and do what I got to do, man. Like I said, I'm just focused on doing bigger things and helping other people achieve bigger goals that they have. So I mean, I'll go like even when we went out of town, we went out to have a good time, but you know, it's still got to be cautious. But
right,
like
and I hate that the world is like that now. So you always watching over your shoulder or trying to find the exit. So if something happened, I can get out this way. I hate it's like that, but I don't want it to make us so scared to where we can't enjoy life.
Right, and so I'm gonna ask you, since we're talking about, you know, enjoying life, and I know with this festival, you definitely want people to enjoy themselves. Do you feel pressure as a black woman, you know, hosting this event? Do you feel like it's pressure on you to, you know, make sure everybody has a good time? Because it's not going to be just us there, you know, it's going to be people of all races and all backgrounds there. Do you feel like you have pressure on you to, you know, set the tone so people have a good impression of, you know, a black-owned business?
I don't. And that's because I don't see color. I hang with the same amount of whites as I do black. So I don't. I just want it. It's not a color thing. It's just a image thing. I just want it to be something great just for my image and not just for me being black.
Absolutely. What's something you've already learned, you know, just from running multiple businesses? Like, what is something you've already learned as just being an entrepreneur?
You can't please everybody.
That's a fact.
You cannot please everybody. But I'm pretty nice and pretty level-headed, and I try to accommodate people's needs, so we can work something out. Whatever it is, anything can be worked out. We just gotta figure it out together.
Absolutely. Like somebody always gonna have something to say, and it's just like they never please. You can't please everybody because you'll stress yourself out. Yes. You know, trying to please everybody. How do you handle those tough situations when you run into something tough like that? Like, is it like, does it bother you for a long time? Like, how do you?
No. Let me tell you something. No. If it's, you know, anything to do with a business, something like right then and there, or somebody or they complaining or going back and forth with one of my bartenders or something, I'll handle it, and I'm nice, and I'll smile, and we can figure something out. But no, I don't ponder on it. Because I'm just not one of them people like is it negative? It gotta go.
Go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna keep talking about it. And if it happened 30 minutes ago, it's over and done with.
Do you as a mother how are you feeling, like, as far as like going into the workforce, or as an entrepreneur? Like, how are you, like, with your kids? Like, are you swaying them, or what do you want for them? And like, what would you like for them to do?
I want
as
them
a parent
to, and I can't remember where I heard it from, but I do tell them, like, you can't focus on your dreams if you work in somebody else's dream. So I'm not downing anybody that works for anybody else, but I want my kids to be great. Like, I want them to follow their dreams and do the best that they can. Now my son, he has went with me to clean. He do little windows and stuff. He like it. My daughter helps with the kiddie part of Tipsy Running. So it's like a tipsy mocktail bar where they set up and serve kids virgin drinks.
That's creative, yeah.
Yes. So they like it. I mean, I'm leaving it here for them, but I'm not gonna make them you know, take over it. But if they would like to, it's available. Right.
I always just say, like, I just feel like it's just about having that exposure to both sides, you know, seeing what it's like to run a business, and actually, you know, if you choose to go work a job, like, just to see both sides of it and figure out what's best for you. Because, I mean, entrepreneurship is not going to be for everybody anyway, because there's a lot that comes with it. It's stressful. Like, you have days, man, you might want to throw in the towel, just say, man, forget it and everything. But it's still good to, you know, see both sides. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just fascinated because I like to see, for me, it's just like the thought process of entrepreneurs. Like, what are their mindset? Like, what forces them, what made them want to create their own opportunity and those things like that. But it's definitely tough. But I feel like for me, I said I don't want to force my kids to, you know, go the entrepreneurship route. I just want to show them that exposure. If that's something they want to do, then they can do that as well. But I just feel like, man, growing up, we didn't really see a whole lot of, you know, entrepreneurship, especially like where we in our area. We didn't see a lot of. It's
starting to become a trend now.
Because people just, you know, we're just so used to the norm. Just get up, go to work for somebody. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I'll try to make sure I say that because I don't want anybody to feel like, because sometimes even when you say those things online, people feel like entrepreneurship, y'all always down to people that work a 9 to 5, and that's definitely not the case. Because a lot of times the people that work the 9 to 5 are the ones who's going to support your business as well. So I definitely want to make sure, you know, people don't take that the wrong way. It's just like, you know, man, y'all always down to people that have a 9 to 5, because that's definitely not the case.
There's nothing wrong with it. Some people would like to work, and some people would like to venture off. And I feel like if that's what you want to do, then go for it. Whatever it is that you want to do, go for it. If you want to work at another person's, you know, be something, there's nothing wrong with that. Go for that. If you want to go off and venture off on your own, there's nothing wrong with that either. But
definitely be willing to take a chance. Like, that was one of the like, we had Mr. Joe Foster on a couple weeks ago. I just the interview is out now. He the co-founder of Reebok, and I was asking him, like, for people who wanted to get into entrepreneurship or start anything, he's like, man, just take a chance. He said start early if you can, but if not, whatever you do is take a chance, because if you don't, you're gonna regret it.
You never know. You never know how the outcome would have been.
You never know, and it's like, he was just like, man, had he not did what he did, like, the business, like Reebok is like one of the biggest shoes in the world. And, you know, just take the chance, because you don't want to look back with regret. And I just, like a lot of people say, you know, a lot of people, you know, live in fear, especially when you're growing up, you just taught to get a job and just stay safe, play safe.
Want to be comfortable and just scared to get out that comfort zone.
And I just felt like that's what just bothered me, though. It was just like, man, I'm just working and paying bills over and over and over. And I was just like, man, it's the same routine.
Yes.
And it's really about, just doing a lot of reading and studying other entrepreneurs. Like, it's about awareness. Like, it's crazy. Like, I was thinking about this the other day when I went to work. And, you know, going to work, clock in, and people go to the same station. It's so crazy, because sometimes it's so bad that we just wired the same way that we even pull up to work, we park in the same parking spot every single day. Exactly, yeah. You'll park in the same spot, clock in, do your same routine every single day. And it's like, a lot of people don't even question it, because you just think it's normal. And it's just like, man, you fall into that cycle, and then years pass by, and you're just like, man, and then you look back, it's like, man, all this time passed, I could have been doing something else. And just doing that just woke me up, like, man, I got to figure something out. Because I fell into the same exact cycle, and I was like,
this don't feel like work till you do it.
It don't feel like work. Man, I love it, man. And just being able to travel and, you know, talk to so many entrepreneurs and just getting their advice, and they always say, you know, step out on faith. Give yourself a chance. And Miss Judy over in California, she was just like, man, you have to be in fertile soil to grow. You know, sometimes you do have to leave home and, you know, build something, because everybody doesn't have your vision. Some people, you know, she was born in Tennessee, and her family moved to Los Angeles, and then she moved to Oakland, California on her own. But she said, had she just, you know, stayed home in that same area, she don't know how things would have turned out for her, because she has a mannequin business. And for her, you know, she just had to take a chance. And that's why I tell anybody, man, give yourself a chance as well. Because the same stuff that I tell people is the same stuff that I'm learning from everybody else. And you never know what people are going to do for you.
And you have some people that don't want to do something because somebody else doing the same thing. And I just want people to know, like, you can't worry about, because you have different type of people that's gonna support. They might have a crowd that they attract. You might have a crowd that you attract. It's enough funds out here for everybody to do their own thing and venture off. Like,
I was gonna ask you about that too. I was like, how do you feel? Because it's gonna come a point in time where it's gonna come where somebody see how successful your business is, and then they're gonna want to try it. Like, I was gonna say, how do you feel about? Do you embrace that? Seeing that people are gonna want to do a tip, start their own bartending service.
No, that don't bother me. That means I was just motivation for them
Exactly.
to go out and try it. And they could have thought about it before me, just didn't go for it.
Yep.
Before I did, but I just feel like it's motivation. Sometimes you probably do. Some people need to see other people do it and be like, "Oh, she did it. I know I could do it."
Mm-hmm. I feel like we all have that somewhat of an obligation to, well, we do have the obligation to pay it forward anyway. Even though we might go through have a tough time doing it, but somebody else can learn from us. We show them the ropes, and you can't be afraid to see somebody go take out, even if their business is bigger or whatever. But just to know that you were able to have a helping hand in somebody else's business take off. I mean, that's a blessing in itself.
I've had people that have asked, how do you go about with your bartending license? How do you go about this? How do you get this? I don't have a problem with giving them information. It don't bother me for them to know. And however they use and what they use it for, I wish them the best of luck.
Oh, I had people ask me about podcasts all the time, and the first thing I always tell them, man, just get started. That's the main thing. Don't just plan, and just trying to think you're gonna just come out the gate and just have a boom, just a grand show. Like, get started, go through your lumps, and just learn from it. Like,
you might not have. If you start that podcast, you might have one viewer, but you can't get.
But that's a viewer though. Like, that's anything. Like,
and they'll go tell somebody, and then the next person. You just got to. You can't go in there thinking like it's just gonna boom right off gate. Like, you got to. Sometimes it take time, and some people just blessed for it to really boom when it first get started, and some people have to put a little bit extra work in, but that's not.
And you know how many podcasts it is out here. Like, almost everybody got a podcast now. It's like this. To me, it's the new trend. It's the new radio, because even you have celebrities, anybody, they have their own podcasts of their own. To me, I love it because you get a chance to like actually sit down and have like a real conversation. A lot of times when they're on radio or TV, it's kind of like a generic conversation. A lot of times, like, you don't want to rub the person the wrong way. They got to say the right things all the time. Like, I like to see what people like really about, like how they really think and stuff like that. That's why I love podcasts. I'm not saying it because I have one. It's just one of those things that, where you can really have somebody vulnerable and they're open up and they're willing to have those conversations. Because I feel like it's important. A lot of times, you want to know something about these people that you support. A lot of times we just see these big brands, these big companies, but we don't know anything about these people at all. So,
and sometimes the workers don't know anything about them because you only seeing the supervisors and the managers. You're not seeing the big people like the CEOs and stuff. So I'm glad that you're doing it and interviewing them. So that help like people that's actually working for him to see what type of, or she to see what type of person they are. Exactly,
and that's why I said it was important for me to make sure I had you on too, because I was like, Tipsy Running is already big, but when it keeps on going, and I know it's gonna keep on going, but it's gonna be so huge. Like, people will be able to look back at this interview and like, man, like, and to be able to know you as a person, as a person, like, I think because sometimes that's all it takes. Like, a lot of times, even if you have a business that's not really, that's kind of struggling in the beginning, if a lot of times if people like you as a person, they'll still come out and support you just because they see that you're doing something and they like you and they want to get behind it and make sure you need to get to where you need to go.
True.
So that's why I was like, I love having these conversations, though. That way people can get to know you. But a few more questions and we'll get ready to wrap this up.
Okay.
How do you feel like you've grown like as a person since becoming an entrepreneur?
I'm still friendly, but a little bit more strict when it comes to just for people not to get over.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, I would have let somebody get over, but these are my own coins.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I support my family, so I have to stick with what I say, and that's what it is, and hopefully you like it and support, and if not, then that's fine too. But I just think by having this, it's just made me a little bit more firm with people.
Right. You, like you said, it's your business. It's how you provide.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about it all the time, especially with like black owned businesses. Sometimes people already think since a black owned business they got to get a discount and all this type of stuff. They want it free. And I saw something, it was a couple of days ago. It was about somebody posted something about Candy got a restaurant somewhere.
I seen that.
And they were saying, they felt like she was doing too much because of the price of the food, and then you bought a beverage, and then you got to pay for the ice for the beverage.
But you got to pay for. Well, she got to pay for the ice.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I was getting to you. I was like, dang. For a second, I was like, man, that's kind of But then I was like, I sat back and thought about, somebody got, like you said, somebody got to pay for all this other stuff, and it's like, and like you said, you do have a choice whether you want to go there and eat or you can go somewhere else. So it's
when you have a business like that, though, you don't do it to make your money back. Like if she charged and then just made her money back, it'll be pointless. Like you have to charge to get the money back plus more to support, to keep the business open and to support your family. So
and you got to support other people as well.
Employees.
That's the thing. Like a lot of people got to take that into consideration as well. It's like as a business owner, you don't work for just you. You work for other people as well. And I think a lot of times people, they go to these restaurants or any business establishment, and they always like, man, this stuff is high. Like you do have a choice whether you want to go there or not. And it's not that you trying to be rude or anything, but it's just business though. Cause we always say all the time, like if you go to Walmart or Target or anywhere like that, we don't go in there and say, man, the stuff in here is too high. I'm not gonna go back. People still.
But if we did, because I noticed that a lot of people do it with black-owned businesses, how they put something up. Now, if we did, I wonder would people take the same initiative to quote-unquote boycott that business? Because I know they putting it up and say, well, dang, or maybe making a joke out of it, but some people take heed to that, and now I won't go to her restaurant, and versus if you hadn't said nothing at all, they would have visited and spent it without it being an issue.
And that's what hurts a lot of our businesses as well. It's like we'll badmouth them, and then people see that and like, man,
don't even give it a chance. They just take what somebody else said.
Exactly.
And it's just no, I'm not gonna do it.
Exactly. And you don't know what might have been going on that day. Maybe they just short of staff or anything.
I feel like everybody have different experiences because everybody is different. We different. So you might not, if they say, oh, I had a bad waitress, you might not have had that same waitress.
It might be a different, exactly.
Or something could have just been going on. I don't know. I try to give people chances. I try not to go off of what somebody else says and judge them. I want to get my own judgment.
Exactly. Just a couple more questions. What would you say was like your vision for Tipsy Running? I know things change down the line, but like, what do you see for Tipsy Running in the future?
I want it to be bigger. The short-term goal is to actually make it mobile. Right now, I have a pop-up bar and I'm going inside events, which I'm not going to stop that because I still want it to be where if somebody's having a wedding or a party, to where my employees or myself can go in, set up, and provide for them. But I do want it to be actual mobile, like on wheels, to where I can serve and do it kind of like an ice cream truck. And then that way, I don't have to tell people I'm booked already. So I can give you the options. So if I got two things in one day, I can send somebody here or I can come here mobile. And then hopefully it just keep growing from there to where I can send to different locations.
I think it's gonna be huge though. Like
I
love it already.
I manifested it.
Just because it's something so different and unique. And, you know, people like to go out and have a good time, or whether they want to have something at home or something. Like this is something that's gonna be huge, and I really feel like it's something gonna happen where somebody's gonna come to one of these events. You're not gonna know who these people are. They just gonna come into your life, and it's gonna just be a big blessing, and it's just gonna open up. Like, and it's already happening. Like you said, you're already booked. It's just gonna be more of these happening. And I can see it going all over, like all over the world, the country. Like you can make this thing as big as you want, as big as you want it to be.
That's the plan.
Do you do things like just curious? Do you do like vision boards or writing down your goals? Or
I do write down. Me and my friends have had vision board parties, but I haven't done a vision board in a while. I think I might have did the last vision board 2 years ago, and this was not on the vision board. Even though I said I talked about it with Mike, I did not put this on the vision board, but I did, you know, pray about it, so it came about. But I do write stuff down.
all right,
And kind of make it to, okay, I need to work on this, and hopefully it'll, you know, come about. But yeah, I do write stuff down.
Yeah, for me, I love to write stuff down. And I think Ben had a Ben Hall on Big Ben's Desserts. He had a Men of Vision Summit the very on New Year's Day this year, and he just had everybody in there write on the vision board, write down different things that they wanted to accomplish. And he's like, man, just dream big. So I did a vision board. I got another board I have at home where I write stuff down on, and then I got a notebook and I write stuff down on it. And this was crazy. Right before we hit the road this year, I just like, man, I just wrote down different places I never been to that I want to go to. So that's how I wrote down, you know. So I never been to Miami, California.
And you done been there.
And I done been, and I just wrote all that stuff down. Like you don't know, the thing about it is you don't know when it's gonna happen, but you just know you want to go to these different places. So that's how California happened. I was just reading the article. I reached out to this lady, Miss Judy, and she said, and we were talking about this off camera for people watching this. She just reached out. She said, I told her what we were doing. She said, man, I love what y'all doing. She's like, hey, you ever been to the Bay Area? I said, no, ma'am. She said, well, I have an Airbnb that y'all can use when you come out here. So normally, you know, when you got to pay for a flight, so a place to stay, you might get a rental car. All that stuff is expensive.
It is.
And she was a blessing for us because she let us use her Airbnb. She said, just pay the cleanup fee. So we got an Airbnb for about 4 or 5 days for $145. A steal. You can't beat that at all. And that's what I'm saying. It's like when you have a goal or a vision, it's a lot of times we try to figure out like how it's going to happen. And that's something I never even said on this camera before. It's like with this tour, like I didn't know how I was going to go to all these different places. I was just writing down different things. And for California, like when I reached out to Miss Judy, she made it happen. Like she said, I love what y'all doing.
And you'll meet people like that that believe in your dream just as much as you do and want to support.
Exactly. And she and I never said this on camera either. We were just talking, and she's like, I love what y'all are doing. She said, if y'all really wanted to, she said, you guys, I'll figure out a way for y'all to come out here to move to Oakland, and I can help y'all get on y'all feet. After we shot the interview, because she was like, man, I was just blown away by everything that y'all did. And she's like, man, if y'all wanted to, I could help y'all figure out a way to get out here. It's just like these people just come into your life when you're doing something positive, and they're just going to be willing to help you any kind of way that they can. But you just, like I said, you got to be willing to, you know, get started. But that's why I write down everything. Like, people might think it's corny, but I read and I write, I pray. But the things that I write down on paper is just like, it's crazy to see like how I put pen to paper, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm all the way across the country, you know, just interviewing somebody over there that has a mannequin business. Something I never even heard, like having their own. Something that you see a lot of when you go in stores, but to actually interview somebody that has a mannequin business.
It's just manifesting.
It is
speaking positive stuff over your life.
It is, and I know this is not about me. I just like to try to encourage people and let them know, like, you have to write. Well, for me, I write stuff down, but you have to believe in yourself. So in a 3-month span, even back to before I was telling you about the tour when I seen you at the store, in a 3-month span, we went from we went from Miami to Oakland, California, to recently just over Zoom interviewing the co-founder of Reebok. And all of this was just me. Like, I didn't write down that I wanted to interview the co-founder of Reebok, but I did write down, like, interview a billionaire. And it's just these different things that I write down. But in a 3-month span, I went from Miami to Oakland, California to interviewing the co-founder of Reebok. So it just shows you, man, if you're willing to put in the work, but you have to believe. You have to believe in this. Everybody tells me that too. One thing to do whatever you want to do, but you have to believe in it. Like, you have to believe that you can make it happen.
Right.
That's one of
I'm big on speaking stuff into existence.
I
try not to say nothing negative, and I try to teach my kids not to say nothing negative, because I really feel like what you put into the universe is gonna happen.
It's power in what you say. That's why I try not to. Well, I don't see. I just did it. I say try. Ben always told me, said, man, whatever you do not say try. He said, just try sounds so weak. It's like, if I tell you to pick up this microphone, you just do it. You don't say, I'm going to try to pick it up. You just automatically do it. It's right. Like, don't use the word try, because it just seems like you already just giving like a half-hearted effort. Like, just say, I am going to do something. So it's just power in what you say.
It is. And
I always just, be willing to put in the work. But my final question before we get out of here, and we'll go over the Mimosa Festival one more time, is as part of our Cross the Line self-investment tour, I love to ask people, like, what does self-investment mean to you?
It's pretty much investing in your dream, and making it as big as you can.
Absolutely. And don't give up on yourself.
Right. Let me tell you, I figured out what the word I was trying to say about that big hat event. It's a derby. I could not think of. A derby?
Okay. We got it on camera before the end of this interview.
Think of it.
How was that event though?
It was nice. It was a church event, but it wasn't like, like some people.
I was thinking about the hat. The sombrero was like.
Oh, that's how I made you think of it? I'm sorry. I meant like the like church hats.
Okay.
Church hats. But it was nice, and a lot of people don't like attending church events because of the stigma behind it. Yeah. But it wasn't like that. Like, they had a good time. They mingled. It was a lot of laughs, and everybody had a good time. They had a nice DJ. Everything was really nice at that event.
What would you say is like for the most part the events that you done? Like, what are they like weddings or?
Haven't did a wedding yet. I have 3 coming up. Everyone is different. The DJ fest we just did, that one was it was everything is always nice. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes we have a little bit more people at certain events. So that one was a lot of people. So when I went in there, I started looking around. I said, "Oh goodness, how are we gonna supply all these people with this alcohol?" But it turned out great. Everybody was very supportive. Had men coming out helping us. I guess they looked at these women trying to put all this stuff up and pull all this out, but they came. Everybody pitched in, helped us out. We had a lot of different attitudes, but we kept a smile on. And
come with the territory.
Yes, but everything was good. The DJs that were hosting it, them and their significant others came in and checked, made sure we were good, did we need anything. So it ran pretty good. I did have a event in Lancaster, Lawrence. I did not know Lawrence people could drink like that. Yes, so that was my first event that it was.
They show out.
Yeah, they show out. A smaller crowd, but they tested my faith with, am I gonna have enough? Because if we go an extra hour, I don't think we're gonna have nothing. Yeah, so that was probably the only one that kind of made me a little nervous. So I kept looking at the time. I'm like, okay, what time is it? Because we finna run out of this. But it all worked out. And then the lady called me the next day. She said, I meant to tell you that we can drink down here. I said, I found out quick too.
Man, they have a good time in Lawrence. I went to school with some people from Lawrence.
They were really nice, very welcoming. I had a girl that came up to me. She said, we used this person from Union last week and this and this and this, and Union got some talent down there. I said, yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was real welcoming, and they made sure we were straight. So, but they just kind of tested me just a little bit.
I know I said we was getting ready to get out here. I got a couple more questions now that you said it. When you talk about the talent in Union, what would you like to see from Union? Like, what would you like to see them do? Because I hate when people say things like, in order to make it, you got to get out of Union and stuff like that.
I really would like for an artist to actually make it. What's his name? The younger is Michael Purdy. Now I really do. I'm not really a hip hop. I kind of like the oldies and R&B though. But I really do think if he can get like a supportive team behind him, he could actually like make it. I just want to see somebody that make it into the music industry from Union.
You just got to get behind each other and support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't pull anybody down.
Which a lot of people do say, I don't know, he might need to move to Atlanta, or he might need to move.
That's why, yeah.
But I don't know. Even if he do, he's still from Union, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, but I like to see people. That's what I was thinking. That's why I was saying earlier. Is like, man, sometimes you do feel like, man, in order to make you need to move away from home, but. Part of me is like, man, I just want to stay here just to show that, man, you can stay home and still make it. Like, you don't have to always run away and to be successful. Then I hate to see when people, if they do make it, they move away from home and do make it and then forget where they came from. But I feel like you can make it wherever you are. You just, like you said, have a support system. But, I mean, you still I think you need to be willing to, travel.
Willing to travel.
Be willing to travel.
And willing to... You're going to have to travel because Union is so small that we used to small things. So you have to travel and go different places to experience new things and understand how they do it here versus how we do it in Union.
And that's been one of the best things for me, just traveling, just experiencing different cultures. And man, people are just so friendly and they're
yeah, because we always think, like, if we go to a bigger, like, New York or something, they're going to be so mean or, but I guess we got to go to get our own experience to know that we can't go off of what somebody else
And don't go by what's on the news all the time either. Man, I promise you, when we were in California, man, people were just so cool and laid back. We were at a baseball game, and it got cold because we were right there by the water at the game. So we went and got in line at the concession stand. Everything at a game is high at a baseball game. Man, a beer was $13.50. A bottle of water was like $7-8. So I get to the front, and this lady was just like, I was telling, I want some nachos or whatever. And this lady, she was just saying, we out of nachos. So, okay, let me just get a hot dog then. So this lady gave me, she said, I'm gonna give you 2 hot dogs and a Sprite. Just give me like $1 tip. And I was getting ready, and she said, just give me, I'm gonna just charge you for the Sprite. So I said, okay, and she just leave me a little tip. So I gave this lady $5. She gave me 2 hot dogs and a Sprite. Normally, they probably would have been about $20 off the rip just buying something like that at a baseball game. But man, she looked out for me like that. And then the people we were sitting beside, like, they were just cool. They were taking pictures and everything. It's like when you get outside of your box, like your comfort zone, man, it's just like you see how special things are, like how special life is, man. It's like, don't be willing to travel and experience different things and different cultures, man. Because California was different, especially where we from. Man, it was just totally different just to see something else and experience something just different. But I want to ask you also, have you been out of state yet with Tipsy Running or?
No, I have not.
It's coming.
Yes, I hope so.
It's coming.
I hope so, but I haven't. Not yet.
Just give it time. I promise you. It's gonna, like I said, one of these events, something's gonna happen, and it's really gonna take off. But I want to thank you again, Tanisha, for taking the time to sit with us. I'm looking forward to it. Please give everybody the information for the Mimosa Festival.
Okay, the Mimosa Festival will be September the 25th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. downtown Union. Y'all make sure y'all come out because we've never, and I said we because this is a we thing. We've never got the roads shut down. to be able. You never got to drink nothing on Main Street in
No.
Union at all. So this is the first time. So I would like for everybody to come. We'll have food vendors. We'll have 6 different mimosa stations. We'll have a live band. And just come out, enjoy, and have fun.
So that's Mimosa Festival, Saturday, September the 25th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to it. I promise you, I'm going to be there. You know, a lot of times something might happen and I got to go somewhere else, but I'm making a way. I will be there. Before we get out here, I want you to do one more thing. Just leave, for people who want to be an entrepreneur or do anything in life, what would you tell them to do? What advice would you have for them?
Same thing I tell my kids. You cannot build your dream working for somebody else's dream.
Absolutely. And Tanisha, thank you again. Before we get out of here, can you tell everyone how to find you on social media?
I'm on Facebook. Every social media site is Tipsy Running. So everything is Tipsy Running. And that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, thank you again. Thank you to our sponsors, KB's Car Care. Thank you to Big Ben's Desserts. Also, I want to give a shout out to Princess and Jordan at 1013 Media for allowing us to use their space today.
Yes.
If you need somewhere to record or do anything like that for podcasts, these are your people. So thank y'all again for allowing us to use your space. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode of the Cross the Line podcast. Please be sure to come to the Mimosa Festival next Saturday, September the 25th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So until next time, this is Cross the Line podcast. Keep chasing dreams. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Tanisha Smith, owner of Tipsy Running, and you're tuning in Cross the Line podcast.